one part of the third, coming to you for another live show. So excited to be coming to y'all. We got some crazy topics today. It's gonna be some mayhem. There might be some fighting. Well, we might be talking about some fighting, but it's gonna be on point. So we appreciate everybody in the last couple of weeks that has got on, sent us comments, um, tuned in, and watched it on your own time. We greatly appreciate that. Again, we don't do this for ourselves. We're just three friends that we do this on the phone all the time. So we decided to bring it to y'all. I think there's some good content. So keep the comments coming through. We appreciate it. And I'm gonna throw it to Dante to talk about these topics.
Mm. Hey, Faye. Hey, man, I can't see you, bro. You got to get over a little bit. And we got to get the volume up just a little bit. Uh, yeah, man. First off, like Jarrell said, man, we appreciate you guys coming on. Appreciate you viewing the previous videos. And man, yeah, so we got three great topics that we're going to talk about today. So the first topic that we have: should college athletes be paid? So we'll go ahead, Faye. You can go ahead and start this off. Hey, Faye, slide over a little bit more. We can't see you.
So my camera disconnected for some reason.
It's all good.
So I'm trying to get it back connected. Just bear with me here.
Well, I know Faye. There he is. All right.
Yeah, I don't know why, but it
Hey, it's all good though. We still on this thing. Let's
gotta
go.
love live TV. All right. So first topic, what you said, we're talking about college athletes.
Yeah, man. Hey, should they be paid, Faye?
Should they be
College
paid?
athletes? Should they be paid? Should
So
they get some guap?
you doggone right, they should get some guap. Is my short answer. So long answer is the NCAA. They generally report close to $1 billion in revenue every year. In 2017, they surpassed that mark with $1.1 billion. So, and they get that from TV deals, other contracts, and other rights agreements. So, you doggone right, the athletes should take some part of that. Now, the money that the NCAA uses, they generally do scholarships, or they give them the opportunity to compete for championships, and then it includes other team travel, food, and lodging, and things of that nature. So, obviously, I'm a businessman. I'm an investor. Own a couple businesses myself personally. So obviously, I see nothing wrong with the NCAA conducting business. My main argument is that their business, their revenue, is made off of these men and women who are out performing out on the field, whatever field of sport that is. They're bringing in the revenue. People are going out to see the players, to interact with the players, or anything of that nature. They're going out to do that, not the NCAA. People could care less about the NCAA. They're there for, like when Zion Wilson was at Duke. They were there for him. They weren't there necessarily for Duke, even though I know Duke is a major college basketball school. So, to me, generally the main argument that people give is, well, they're getting a free education, so you shouldn't pay them, this and that, which that's valuable, right? A good education is valuable in its own right. The difference here is that these kids that are getting the scholarships and stuff, but they may not be doing sports or anything, they're not having to do sports at all. They get to just go there, get their scholarship, and focus on school or whatever track they're trying to learn. They don't also have to do sports. So, and also the kids that are going there for their education that are just on scholarships, they're not necessarily contributing to the monetary gain that the colleges are getting. So, Zion going to Duke, that's a major monetary gain for Duke. But somebody who's going there to just study business isn't necessarily directly contributing to the monetary gain that the school makes. So you even have former student athletes that argue that the time commitment that Division One sports take. So not only are you trying to go through school for however many hours that you can, but you generally are spending about 50 hours a week on your sport, on your craft, along with trying to study. So sports takes up a lot of time like a full-time job. Now, to me, in trying to problem solve it, I know most are thinking, well, every sport brings in different revenue. You have generally basketball and football of the NCAA who bring in the most money out of all sports in general. So to me, one thing that I think of is like you have like some type of minimum. So maybe kids come in as a freshman, this is their minimum or the leveling, so to say, of pay. If they're a sophomore, this is the leveling of pay, junior, and so on. And then if they decide to leave early, so like for football, if it's 3 years and they decide to leave early, then all right, whatever, they forfeit the rest of their money and they're off going pro. Um, so to me, with this as well, what I think this creates a good opportunity. So let's say you start paying the college athletes. What if also with that you make some type of program for financial learning? They learn how to manage their money. They learn how to make more money outside of their given sport of choice. So this way, even in college, starting young, because they don't really teach this, unfortunately, in lower level of schooling on how to manage money and things like that. I think in college, you can get people prepared on how to manage that money, especially even more so if they're going pro. It'll still be a good skill to have, even if they can't and they can't go pro or anything like that. It's still a good skill to have to learn how to manage money and stuff like that. But too many times you see athletes go pro, something happens, get hurt, and now okay, they signed a $2 million, $3 million deal, and now all that money's gone. They did nothing smart with it. They didn't invest in themselves. Where to me, it would be good, get them paid, and then show them, because when they get to pro, they could be making millions of dollars, and that's a lot of money to mess up. So you teach them and coach them also on how to make money or how to manage money, excuse me, while they're in school. So yes, in summary, yes, they should get paid, but they also should get help on how to manage their money.
Good
Anything
job,
else?
Fade. Good job.
Man, I'm a catch that thing from you, Faye, one handed, Odell Beckham style. Um, man, this is anybody who knows me knows that this is my passion. I was a freshman in 2005 writing a paper that college athletes should be paid. So this is something that I hold dear. Fabe, I'm a kind of start where a little bit where you were. So I'm gonna start with the part against. So you say yes, we get a scholarship. And as a scholarship athlete, we should be appreciative of getting that free education because there's a lot of people paying for it. But here's the thing, like Fabe said, if you get a academic scholarship or a geodiversity scholarship or this scholarship or that scholarship, you still can go out and get a job, work 40 hours a week, make cash money and bring it in. As a college athlete, I don't have that ability because I have a 40 plus hour. And we're talking 40 plus hour. If you want to be good, if you want to be elite, you're probably talking about 50, 60 hours where you're up at night, you got schoolwork, and you got to watch film. Because if I don't look good, I'm not going to the league. So we're going to start right there. I'm going to attack that part. And then I'm going to go next to looking at pros in college. When we look at college, I'm going to go to baseball first. 9.5% of all baseball players have a chance of going to the MLB. Men's basketball, 1.2% of all athletes, basketball, men's, has a chance of going pro. Women's, 0.9%, and football 1.6%. So the likelihood of me being able to make money to further myself in that sport is going to be slim to none. Now, what I will go to as far as the money, I know Fabe talked about some revenues and things like that with the NCAA. I'm gonna just start about football, basketball, schools in general, how much they make off of athletics. I'm gonna go to the highest grossing, which is Texas, or I'm sorry, highest earning, which is Texas. They make $156 million off of sports per year. Their profit off of that is $92 million. So I understand what we're saying, right? We want these nice facilities, we want to get all these things, so it's got to be funded somehow. But are you telling me that at the University of Texas making $92 million profit, you can't take 4 million and wrap it up in all sports and say this is what's allocated to you? Fabe, I love what you said. I think it's really important to say freshmen slash years of experience, 1 year of experience, or no years, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, instead of saying you're better than this person, so you get this. Um, Another thing that I want to look at is scholarships. There's 85 scholarships. So I'm not saying that every single athlete that is in school should be paid. I'm talking about the scholarship athletes. There's a difference if I'm a walk on and I'm trying to earn a scholarship. I understand. I want you guys to get paid. I'd love it. But at the end of the day, I can't allocate and say, oh, just because you play a sport, because then everybody would be signing up like, yo, 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 I just want to be a walk on somewhere. No, no, no. We're not talking about that. If you got to earn your way and earn your scholarship, so be it. But I think, in my personal opinion, when you look at it, I'm Penn State, I'm Alabama, I'm Florida State, I'm Miami, um, University of Texas, USC. How many kids are going to those schools just because they're like, yo, I want to be a USC grad? No, it's like they got a bomb football team, a bomb basketball team. I want to go be part of that. Not talking about playing, I'm talking about being a student. So now you're talking about your enrollment is increased. Yo, I'm gonna enroll in Duke because Zion went there, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
Zion enrolling, I want to enroll because I get a chance to go see him for real. Like what? I get to see him on campus. He might be my homeboy. So now you're talking about kids that are paying to go to school, which now that's not revenue that we're talking about with football and sports and winning. This is revenue that I would say supersedes that, where it might be 100, 150, 300 people at those big schools that now are paying that 30, $40,000 a year. So now on top of what you're getting from me, now you're getting more. Now, I want to switch just a little bit over to basketball. So the NCAA tournament. So teams who make the tournament, not win a game, $1.6 million. If you make it to the round of 16, $5 million. If you make it to the final four, $8.3 million. Now, I understand that you get a lot of small schools and they may not have it, but at the end of the day, when you look at that money, that's money that those players busted their butt in order for that school to get it. So obviously, I think the school should get some money, but why can't players get a cut of it? Why can't the players get a cut of it? And the last thing that I'll say is when you think about the practice, when you understand the time that goes into it, when you understand you got coaches at these big schools making $10 million. Roy Williams at USC just said that all those kids that decide to come back for that additional year because they lost because of coronavirus, he was donating $600,000 to cover their scholarships. So if you're telling me that out of his salary he can't do that, Nick Saban making 10 plus million, come on, come on, give your coach a mil less and let's pay these players. Because at the end of the day, if the players aren't there, that school is not making money. That program is not making money. Think about it. That's why there's a discrepancy between a Utah State and an Alabama. If Utah State were to get those Alabama type players and start Alabama winning, their money's going to increase. So we know that players run this. So why can't they get a piece of the pie when they're making so much for these universities? They're allowing these universities to build these extravagant libraries, extravagant dorms. Yes, some of it goes back to the playing field. And yes, I love the education, but every education is different. We have to understand that. If I am an out of state person going to Penn State, I might pay $30,000. If I'm an in state person in PA, I might pay $16,000. That scholarship says athletic scholarship. You don't know how much money value that is. So if you're telling me, oh, well, I can pay for this person to come from Florida and pay 30,000, but you're getting a discount because I live in PA. You're getting a discount because y'all live in Florida if you go to a Florida school. So why can't you guys think of it like you're getting a discount with some players, you're not getting a discount with other players? Marry it together. Let's figure out a way to get these guys paid because at the end of the day, you can call it amateur sports, but it's anything but amateur. They're putting their lives on the line, and I know that's a big statement. Um, I'll bring it down to say they're putting their health on the line for a school, a knee injury, a back injury, a neck injury, and their whole course of life can be changed. We got Mr. LeGrant from Rutgers who injured his neck. That changed the course of his whole entire life. But he did something that he loved for a university that he loved and that he believed in. And now I'm not, they didn't throw him out. They did what they could for him. But at the end of the day, when you look at that, a man can say, hey, listen, at least I was doing something and I was getting some financial gain because you don't know what these guys are coming from. You don't know what their families are coming from, which is why you see the Terrell Pryors, paying for tattoos, stupid, which is why you see AJ Green back in the day when he sold his bowl jersey and he had to sit out that next year the first three games. You see all this because you don't know if people are struggling. And if somebody's throwing $2,000 in your face to sign some autograph or to give them a jersey, then so be it. So I'll just stick to the college athletes should be paid. I'm not even going to go into the other part where they should make money off their likeness because it looks like the NCAA finally became wise and they're going to be allowed to make money off their likeness. So I'm going to leave that part alone. But for sure, college athletes should be paid. Dante, I'm a throw that thing right to you.
I dropped it. I played DB. So,
Wow.
all right. So, should college athletes be paid in college? Listen. If you don't know, now you know. Of course, they should be paid. That's a no brainer. Especially with me being a formal college athlete. Went to Grambling State, was there for a year, seeing how things are ran there, how, like Jarrell said, man, like you are expected to put in all this time. However, you still got to do the schoolwork. And then on top of that, you have some teachers that they look at you and say, "Oh yeah, you a football player or you're a college athlete. Oh yeah, this class is gonna be even harder for you because I don't like student athletes.
Mm-hmm.
I just want people that's gonna come here because they want to come here to learn." However, that's the shoes that we wear. Um, then going to Pennsylvania where I played at, same thing. I mean, it was the D2, so it went from D1 to D2. Howard, it was same thing. You know, uh, when you playing high school football, little league football, it's fun. When you get to college, it's a job, a job, as pops would say
Yes.
on Friday. Um, and there's no way around it. It's a job. And then on top of that, Jarrell, you did kind of go into it a little bit about not being able to um, not being able to work a job because you have to put in all those hours. But not even that, you still can't even, even the downtime. So when the season's not in session, you still have obligations that you have to fulfill. So you got film that you got to watch from the previous year or the previous season. You got weightlifting starting at 6 o'clock in the morning sometimes. Then you also have times where you may be, you have some kind of session after work. I'm sorry, after class. So you're always doing something, and and then on top of that too, the NCAA, they always in your business. How you getting that money? Where that money
Man.
coming from? Who's giving it to you? So so that's another reason. And I want to say I can't remember exactly, but I remember filling out all this paperwork when I first got there, and it was like, oh my God, did your grandma, your uncle, did they give you money, this and that? So they make it so that you have to depend solely on them. And then on top of that, then you go to the whole notion that you should be grateful because you're getting an education. Um, yes, you should be grateful. However, it's something that you earn. It's just like saying, um, I applied for a job and they accepted me. Okay, that's great. I'm grateful for the opportunity. I still want my money though. I'm not gonna be sitting there working like, oh, you know what? I'm good. You don't have to pay me this month. I'm just grateful for the opportunity to be here. Nah, get out of here with that. I want my money, and that's the same way, man. They should be able to get paid. Because a lot of, and this is the biggest thing, most of the people that need that money or that need to get paid, they're people that look like us. They're people that come um, from areas where they don't have much. They're striving and they had to do what they had to do to get there. And then you get there, and then on top of that, then now you room with somebody that doesn't look like you, a white person. Uh, Whatever, doesn't look like you, but his parents are well off. His parents has money. They come up once a month, and they take them to Walmart, and then they go buy them everything they need for the dorm room. They buy them all the food and all the snacks and all that stuff. Uh, and I'm speaking on this because I lived it. I seen it. Um, thank God I wasn't in that position and I wasn't able to get stuff, but I seen it. And so when you have people that don't really have anything, and I know once you go to the, D1, they give you a small stipend, so you do get some money, but it's not enough to do anything. Like I remember one, paying for your cell phone bill, because mom can't pay for it back at home. So how you gonna do it? You know what I'm saying? Um, are you gonna sell some illegal contraband in the dorm rooms to get that money? Are you going to do things that that you shouldn't be doing to get that money so you can take that girl out on a date that you want to go? So it's like so many things that reasons why they should. And like you said, they make so much money, it wouldn't it'll be a drop in the bucket for them to give out that money. As you said, I mean, college coaches, they make a lot of money, which I don't argue that they shouldn't, because they have a hard job, they put in a lot of hours, they should make that money. They most of them deserve it. However, if they deserve it, how much more does the players deserve it? And that's where I would leave that at. So yes, college
So,
athletes should get paid.
so Dante, if I can just jump in, one of the things that strikes me, I look at Florida State, and I know you love Florida State. They just fired Willie Taggart, and they had to give him a what, 10, $15 million buyout.
Yeah,
So somehow, some way, you gonna pay him 10, 15 million just to go away, and now bring in a new coach, and now you got to pay him. And how many colleges across where they're firing somebody and they got to pay them something, and then they go on their merry way. I think it was Jim Mora when he got fired. He came, I think he was making like 5 million a year or 6 million a year from the college team that he was coaching at, which I believe was like UCLA. But then he was in the NFL as a position coach, making more money. So hold on. So you telling me a coach can get fired and you still got to pay him, but I'm the one doing the dirty work and I can't get nothing from you? That's wild. You can come up with 10, 15 million because Willie Taggart had 2 bad years or a year and a half of a bad year, and boom, he gone. But you're gonna pay him. But all the guys that's busting their butts, trying to do what they need to do on the field, take care of their education, because if they're not academically eligible, they cannot play. Trying to make sure they take care of at least what they need to do, bare minimum or above and beyond, whichever person you are. But I can't get nothing. Wow, that's crazy.
Hey man, can I get that Florida State head coaching job? Get fired and make 15 mil? Listen, we wouldn't even have practice. We just, hey, y'all do whatever, man. I'm waiting for them to fire me. Fire me. Do it.
Oh snap! That's down bad. But you know what though? I don't want to go this deep, but you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and go this deep because you know why? This deep third, so we gotta go deep. So
Go.
listen, if you think about it and if you look at it, it is pretty much it's the way of the world. It's America. You know, you have the people do all the grunt work, right? And then you have the people that's above that's I don't want to say forcing, but you have the people that's above that's supervising, that's giving instructions on what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and those are the people that's making the money. I mean, for instance, we can look at we'll use Toys R Us because they're not in business anymore, so we'll talk about Toys R Us. Toys R Us. So Fabe and I we worked at Toys R Us when we were in high school. So we worked hard, you know, and we had our managers that that say, hey, all right, it's 8:50. We're closing in 10 minutes. Make sure you do X, Y, and Z. All right, boom, we go do that. But then on top of the manager, then now you had the higher ups that was telling the managers what to do. And so basically all it was is we're making all the money down here, but the money is just going up. And it's the same way with college football. And until the mindset change of how things are structured, uh, there's a lot of people that's up top that don't look like us. So therefore, you know, it's going to be like that until things change. So, there's a lot, like I said before, man, the people, and I'm not saying that it's all black people that, that come in that don't have, but majority of the issue and it's the black people that's getting hurt. You do have some white people that come in or Hispanics, that don't come from good situations, but for the most part, it's the black people. And but until like that mindset kind of changes, that's just how it's gonna be. But should they get paid? Yes, I think they're coming close to it, especially with our favorite game that we used to play with college since that's been gone, and they trying to get that back and up and running, and they closed it because people wanted to get paid for their likeness, as Jarrell mentioned earlier. But I think they're getting close to it. And the people that oppose of them getting paid, I just like to ask them a question like, why? Why would you not want them to get paid?
Yeah.
What's the harm in it? You know. But let's go on to the next topic.
Well,
Oh, I'm
Dante,
sorry. Go ahead.
before you
Go ahead.
go on,
Go
I
ahead.
got, I got. So we normally do deep thought at the end, but I just got a deep thought for this topic. Speaking of Zion Williamson, right? When he stepped foot on Duke, they raised ticket prices.
Mm,
When he stepped foot on Duke, they raised ticket prices. When they played UNC, you were talking about thousands of dollars for every seat. I'm gonna leave it
dang.
at that. I'm gonna leave it at that. We can head on to the next topic.
Fabe, you got anything?
No, that's all I got. That's crazy. That's wow.
Yeah, that's nutty. That's nutty. Nutty buddy. All right, hey, so listen. Hey Fabe, somebody asked if you could put the questions down below so they can see, just in case, I guess, if they come in late, um,
All right.
or whatever. All right, so the next one, September the 12th. Guess what we got, baby? Roy Jones Jr. versus Mike Tyson. Who you got winning? Hmm. Mike Tyson versus Roy
Ooh.
Jones, and Roy Jones, Roy Jones from Florida, so you already know he got them hands. Yeah. So Tyson, I know you from New York and you about that life, but hey, I ain't gonna start it off. Y'all, whoever got it, who got it?
Man, Faye, I'll let you go second. Just let me. I just got a little bit. I just got a little bit. That's it. Just a little bit. All we
Just a
really
little
need
bit.
is a little bit. Baby girl, not a lot. Just a little bit. Uh I'm going Tyson. Like, all right. So a couple weeks ago, Tyson put out this video, and I'm like, mm, hands looking nice. Movements looking good. Now listen, we know that Iron Mike might not be Iron Mike. You know, he used to take it on the chin like a G, got knocked down a couple times, and now he don't take it on the chin like a G. But hey, listen, he bit somebody's ear off. He crazy. At his age, getting in the ring, he crazy. But it astonished me just realizing. So he's had almost 60 fights in his life, right? He's won 50 of them, 44 of them by knockout. That was just astonishing to me. I remember like when I was growing up, and you see like little clips of Mike Tyson and just a little pint-sized guy that just give you that he get it right inside that body and just bing and uh, he was one of my all-time favorites that obviously was much before me, but at the end of the day, just watching him as a boxer and what he brought to the table, he wasn't like, we gonna sit here, we gonna dance, we gonna do. I'm coming after you, hot and heavy. Even when he got knocked out, I'm still coming at you, hot and heavy. I'm gonna give it to you the way I'm gonna give it to you. Hey, and then get knocked out towards the end of his career. But Tyson was an amazing fighter. Um, I think he brought some swag. I think he brought that cockiness. Um, I love Roy. Love Roy. I love Roy. I just don't know at the advanced state and age if anybody can take them Tyson blows. I mean, I'm talking that's earth shattering. That's earthquake right there. Let him hit a wall. See if that building don't come down. Roy Jones will box you, but can that boxing, dance and move and stick and move, and he catch you at one of them right to that left hook, you might be gone. I also think he's an orthodox boxer. Mike Tyson is. Um, So I think he comes at you with the standard, but in the jabs, there's just so much power, um, ferocity in those punches. I mean, it's almost like you hitting a brick wall every time he hits you. I just think Roy Jones got that little bit of a softer touch. But again, question is, can Tyson catch up to Roy? Now, Roy's older, Tyson's older, so I think it might be some showmanship here at their ages. But I gotta go with Tyson, man. I gotta go with the knockout king. I gotta go with why all these youngsters probably love boxing now. They saw Tyson knock somebody out clean, legs still shaking while they on the ground. Doing the stanky leg, doing the stanky leg. He was originator of the stanky leg. He gave him that little thing, and they just down. I don't know if y'all remember the little boxing game when you get that was Tyson, ready to knock your head off. But Fade, I throw it to you. Dante, you go ahead and wrap it up. Here you go, Fade.
I was a lineman. I probably wouldn't have called it anyway. So I can hype that thing though. I can do that though. I can hike it. What you need? Gap down backer. I still remember. No, let me stop. um, wow is the first thing that came to mind. You got Tyson 54, Roy
Yeah.
51. So first I want to say like if you look at them, I mean Tyson looks good at 54. Um, it's it, the first thing that really came to mind with all of this. Okay, this might be a little off topic, but just follow me. To me, it's amazing when you see, I think, how people are aging. So you have your like, if anybody's seen the To racing uh, cheetah the other day, To looks amazing at 46. 46 and came out and ran a 4.4. Get out of here, right? And then you got these two, and you got Tom Brady playing. What is he? 41 now, and Breeze is getting up there too in age. So to me, it's just amazing that you have all of these older people still doing it. So, anywho, beyond that, I really just I hope and don't want to see anybody get hurt. To me, I would go with Roy. I don't. I'm not big on boxing. I'm not a big boxing aficionado. I just think Tyson ain't fought. I seen Byron brought up a good point in chat. Tyson he fought 15 years ago. Roy 2 years ago. So that to me that's big. I know it's never out of your blood fighting and stuff, but a man, someone that ain't been punched in 15 years, that's a long time to not be punched, man. 15 years. Oh, looks like we lost Dante. Um, the last thing I got was now I read that Mike was doing training a couple months ago, and he said he wanted to do some exhibitions for training or I'm sorry, some exhibitions for charity and stuff like that to help people with drug addictions and all of that. So I hope that it is for a good cause, that he is trying to, raise awareness and money for those that need help, and it's not just a money grab to try to make a quick buck, especially with everything going on right now. I hope it's not just a money grab for both of them trying to make a quick buck. But yeah, I gotta go with Roy just because of the time difference of when they last fought. So
I, I feel you. I
I'll
feel you.
hike it over to you, Dante.
Cool. I'm taking that thing to the crib. All right. So listen. Roy Jones or Mike Tyson. Hmm. This is what I say. Can't be touched. That was a song that Roy Jones came out with. He is going to beat Tyson. First off, I saw the video that you're talking about, Jarrell. How he was sticking and moving. He looked good, boy. I was like, boy, you move better than I ever did in the boxing ring. And I ain't even close to being your age. Boy, look amazing. But the thing is, Roy Jones, this is what I heard him say. He said, man, listen, I ain't scared to fight nobody. You tell him when, where, I'm there. And that's one thing I know about Roy Jones. That man is about that life. So I don't know if you guys ever heard, but him and not Big Papa, what's his name? Terror Squad, what's that dude, the rapper? Joe, Fat
Fat
Joe.
Joe.
So Fat Joe messed around and said something about Roy Jones Jr. And it was dealing with one of his fights, and Roy Jones had a problem with it, and so Roy Jones was in the area, so he pulled up on Fat Joe, and was waiting for him when he got off stage. And this is what Fat Joe said. He said, "Listen, I know you gonna knock me out, bro. I ain't even gonna. I know it's gonna happen. It is what it is. But if you do that, my dudes over there, they ain't gonna like it, and they gonna have to get with you, and they not gonna fight you." Even at that thought, he still was like, "I don't care. It's the principle." So if I knock you out and they have to shoot me, it is what it is. And that's his mentality. So that dude Mike about to step in the ring, bro. You 3 years older, man. Listen, Roy Jones got some power. Mike, he has a lot of power, but but hey, you got listen. This dude went from heavyweight, light heavyweight. He don't move all over trying to fight the best. He ain't had to bite nobody ear because he was about to get knocked out. He was the one that was doing the knocking out. His knockout percentages from all his matches, I think they say he won like 66 matches. 60, I think it was 62.5% of his matches ended in a knockout. Now, I ain't gonna lie, hey, Mike Tyson is a knockout artist. Hey, he Mike Tyson uh was Kimbo Slice in the hood. That's Mike Tyson. No lie. But guess what though? Hey, and I'll give it to him. I'll give Mike too. Mike, he is very intelligent when it comes to boxing. Very. Probably one of the highest IQs in boxing. But listen, you mess around biting people's ears not once, but twice. Listen, I just hope Roy got some on his ear because when he hit him with that fire, he gonna go for that ear, and it's gonna be in. So that's all I gotta say. Go ahead, Roy Jones. Hey, big up Florida. Let's go, make it shine. Anybody else got anything?
Nah.
Nah.
All right, man. The last topic. All right. Oh yeah. Also, hey, if you own live right now, please do not jump off early because we got our Fade. Go ahead, and tell them about it, Fade.
So we introduced this last week. So we have a segment called Deep Thought. So it's a chance now. So you guys can get them in now. I'm looking at chat where you can enter your questions, comments, or anything like that, and we'll give you guys our deep thought. So bring it.
Oh yeah, and also if you have a specific question for one of us and you want us to specifically answer it, just make sure you mention that as well. I see Jarrell laughing. Um, but yeah. So the last question, man. This one here is crazy. So the NBA playoffs, who you got winning? I know last week we talked about who is the greatest basketball player ever to be on the court. Everybody know I went with 2, 3, and I ain't talking about LeBron, MJ, but that's what we talking about. So who you got winning, and who you think is going to just go out and just kill it?
Um, I'll go ahead and take this. So I must say first, I'm just excited to have some basketball. Like I like basketball and football. Both of those are my sports. So it's nice to see the guys getting out there, doing the scrimmages and stuff. It's real cool to see them too. A lot of them, they got some good energy and everything like that. Not having no fans in the stadium or in the court or whatever. So it's good seeing that. Um, of course, I. You know what? I'm actually. This is what I call this player. We already know. We already know. I know y'all seen him come out and get Gaya. Did y'all see the Gaya? You didn't see that? The Kane? Come
That's
on, man. The Kane. The Kane. In his 17th season, the Kane. That's who winning these NBA playoffs. So yes, the Lakers is who I feel like winning. You know, a lot of people are saying like if the Lakers win or LeBron wins and all that stuff that they're gonna put an asterisk on this season because it was a shortened season and all of that and this works in LeBron's favor and stuff like that. To me, I don't think that's fair to say you're gonna put an asterisk on this season if LeBron James wins it because he was gonna win it anyway. But everybody has to go through this. It ain't just LeBron who went through it. All the other players in the NBA went through it. I'm also enjoying the stories too already. Like just everything that surrounds basketball. So I don't know if you guys heard about Lou Williams, that whole situation. So like Lou Williams is under quarantine because he decided he wanted to go to a strip club. So it's like
They had some good chicken, bro.
Hey man, gotta go for the
The
legs
I'm
and
the
the thighs, man.
I'm
the
trying to
best
figure
chicken
out.
in Orlando.
But how you social distance though at a strip club? I mean, what's the big? Anyways, so I'm just excited to hear those stories, and then you got Zion Williamson. You know, you get to see how he does in the playoffs and stuff like that. Um, and then you get to see how the NBA handles their further development with COVID-19 and just how they're going with that whole process and stuff like that. But like I said in summary, Lakers, LeBron James, y'all shouldn't even have to. You don't even waste your time. You already know it's gonna be
Ah,
LeBron.
man, that's a great pick. This was hard for me. This year was really, really hard. Not even just because of COVID, but just looking at the basketball landscape. I think there's a lot of money, especially with Golden State not being at the top. I think it's not so much the threesomes; it's really the twosomes. So I'm a I'm gonna bring it at the end, but just going through what seeding should be, and just looking at the main players. Or I'll give you my surprises. So the 76ers with Joel Embiid and a healthy Ben Simmons now, I think they might be a problem. And I know the Bucks got Giannis Antetokounmpo. I know they got Chris Middleton. I know he can shoot the lights out of a ball. But what I fear is that teams have gotten healthy. And I think that's the scary part is in the course of a regular year, going into playoffs, it doesn't matter what sport you're in, you're almost at a disadvantage because just about everybody's not 100%. But if guys took care of their body and guys were smart, which it looks like some were, look at Zion Williamson. He got himself into crazy shape.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, look at the Nuggets Jokic. He got himself into amazing shape. So I think that's going to be a factor. Um, so out of the East, it's hard because I think the Raptors got a chip on their shoulder because they want to show that. I mean, listen, Kawhi did that thing, but they want to show what they learned. Um, and Pascal Siakam has turned into a problem. He went from G League MVP championship to a couple years with the Raptors, and this dude is a problem. It's like his game is taking that elevation. So looking at them between the Bucks, the Raptors, and the Celtics, and the 76ers, I would say, um, those are my top. I love the Miami Heat. I love Bam Abayo. I, I'm just not sure if Jimmy Butler is that type of elevator. The only thing I can say for Jimmy Butler is if they go against the 76ers in that 4-5 matchup, however it flips, that's the only way because he's going to be a problem because obviously he was on the 76ers and now he's got issues. So now I'm going to go to the West and obviously, we got the Lakers and the GOAT.
The Kane.
Uh,
You refer to him as
should
the
be
Kane.
MVP. You got the Clippers, the Nuggets, and the Rockets. That's what I look at. The only hiccup that I see is if OKC makes it in and Chris Paul gets an opportunity because Chris Paul is Chris Paul. I think what he did this year in OKC is worthy of an MVP. If not for LeBron James and Antetokounmpo, I think he's right there. I mean, you're talking about OKC was left for dead. They got rid of their two best players and was brought Chris Paul in, and everybody thought it was just about money. Oh, they're gonna buy him out or something. This dude has turned them into quality. I love Russell Westbrook and the energy that he brings, but he's not 100% the floor general Chris Paul is. Um, but I look at that at 3-4, the Nuggets. I mean, the Nuggets got some experience last year when they were the 2 seed and didn't make it. I think they're hungry, and I know I'm not sure if y'all watched any preseason, but that boy Bull Bull, that boy Bull Bull,
Yeah, he
looked
looked
good.
good.
I
He looked
I
good.
know he was hurt, but that boy looked good. He looked good. I'm not saying that he's gonna be. I just look at defensively. You got 6 blocks. I don't care if you're playing a preseason game, a G League game, a summer league game, or an NBA game. You do stuff like that. That brings value. But when you look at teams where Avery Bradley's not with the Lakers, that's huge. That's huge. The Nuggets still coming. The Rockets, on the other hand, James Harden at the end of every year. This is the ultimate wild card. James Harden at the end of every year is overworked, run down. You just gave him 3 months. 3 months. And all he's got to do is last another playoffs. That's all he has to do, really. So you basically gave him a whole off season. And you see what he does in the beginning of the year when he's nice and fresh. That's scary. That's scary. So what I'm hoping is after everything, the LA Clippers and the Rockets got to battle it out, and then the Lakers get the winner of that because I got the Lakers winning. I'm gonna leave it at that, Dante.
All right, so this is what I got. It's gonna be very interesting. I don't think they should put an asterisk by anybody, whoever wins. I don't think they should. I would just go with this. So I think that ultimately, I do think that the Lakers are gonna win. I think LeBron is just like, hey, I'm tired of this. He gonna do whatever it takes, like he always does, to get to the finals. So that's who I think is gonna win. But then again, I also look at the Clippers, which I think is gonna give. That's gonna be a good game when they play against each other, the Lakers and Clippers. So I feel like that LeBron and them are gonna win. However, it's like a toss up. I'm not sure when they play, if they do play each other. Um, and then also, I think Miami Heat. I think a lot of people are sleeping on them boys. I think that's going to be a team that a lot of people are just like kind of sleeping on and nodding off. And I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. But I would say that I think the Lakers are going to win. But I can't wait to see when they go against the Clippers. Because I know Leonard. I know he feel disrespected because nobody ever talks about how good he is and how he came from becoming from he started as a defensive player and that's all he was, and then now he can play both sides. And I think he doesn't get a lot of respect, so I think he gonna come ready to play like he did last year. Um, and so if the Lakers don't win, it's gonna be the Clippers.
Ooh, the
So that
West.
that's all I got, man. That's all I got. So, um, but yeah. So go ahead, Fade. Take it away.
Hey, take us home.
So, all right, guys, this is the last segment of the show. Uh, our favorite part of the show, although all three of us love talking, uh, we love your guys' feedback and comments even more. So, at this point in time, we're going to call Deep Thought. So, this is the chance for you guys to put your questions and comments in chat, and we will read them aloud. So first, I want to shout out to 92 Reshawn. Thank you for that. He's right. Everybody, please go hit that like button and subscribe. So we got a deep thought here from Joe. She says she agrees that players should be paid, but where do you draw the line? Some schools can pay more than other schools, so can they say that's unfair? Hmm.
Oh, so I this was part of my argument that I didn't talk about. So if y'all okay,
Go
I'll
for
go
it.
ahead and answer it. So I I think what they have to do is they're going to have to do it by conference. So you're right, there is going to be a discrepancy. And I think what a lot of people can do with that discrepancy is a lot of people are going to say, but why would you go to this school if you're getting less money? Here's the thing, it's not going to be all about I go to Alabama, I go here. You also got to play, right? Because if you don't play, you're not going to the league. So if I can go to Utah State or I can go to Boise and I can start, I got an opportunity. The money isn't going to be that life changing money. And I don't think we're talking about life changing money. So I think that we still can keep the disparity, but it's going to have to be by conference. Each conference is going to have to set whatever that is tiered, and it's going to have to be for whoever makes the least amount of money compared to whoever makes the most amount of money. And just because I'm Alabama and I might be Mississippi State or Arkansas, who's garbage, um, you're not going to be able to pay differently. So, in my opinion, I would say the conferences have to set it, but it's got to be something that the conference can do between all. And I'm talking from football to basketball to baseball to soccer. So, all the sports across the board. That would be my answer. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate that.
What up? Hey, appreciate that, Sean. Appreciate that, Joe.
Anybody else got any questions for us here? You know, I
I'm
want to
surprised.
say, I want to scroll back up because I seen something. So from Byron, he had said paid, however, with money management or trust. So thank you for that, Byron, because that's pretty much kind of what I was saying was, hey, they could get paid. Just teach them how to manage their money. Teach them how to make more money. Sean says all love.
Uh,
Now I was told there was some deep question out here, man. Is people ducking in the chat? Are they ducking like Roy? Is that what's going on? Is people ducking?
Hey, man, I'm ready for all questions, anything. Um, I'm just, nah. Do you have anything else, Fade?
Nah, that's all we got. Nobody. Oh well, Byron also said he felt Roy after 5 rounds. Oh, so I guess he's saying Roy if it's after 5 rounds, Mike before 5 rounds. I can
I
see that.
I can agree with that.
I
I
can
can
see
agree
that.
with
I
that.
can
I
see
can
that.
agree with that. Mike Tyson's still going to do it before five. Well, if that's all the questions, um, I'd like to give like a final thought. You know, I think it was nice to kind of mix it up. Um, like I said, I tell people the college athletes being paid is serious to me. Um, Not just because I am a former athlete, but just looking at what college athletes have to do, what they have to go through, all the work that they put in, and the amount of money that is made off of their backs. I cannot stress more that seeing Terrell Pryor go through what Terrell Pryor went through was probably the most frustrating thing that I have ever seen. And for anybody that doesn't know, I kind of mentioned it. He got tattoos. The tattoo parlor apparently was doing drugs or something, and they got raided. They were like, "Where'd you get all these jerseys from?" And they were like, "Oh, well, Terrell Pryor, da 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 da." And I understand where people will say that's stupid, just wait, just do all those things. But at the end of the day, You're talking about an 18, 19, 20-year old man, or young man. And if somebody's putting thousands of dollars in front of you, or you're not coming out of your pocket, you're going to tend to take a handout. I can't say the amount of times that if I came and put $2,000 in your pocket just for having a good game, would you be man enough at that time to say no? Here you go, take it, right? So I think that makes it so hard. But I look at what he went through and the suspension to Ohio State disowning him after all he did for that university, being a number one recruit coming in there, had a clean slate pretty much. He may not be the best individual overall, but what I got to say is it's very frustrating to see him have to go through that. And he was basically the punching boy because athletes before him had done it, but there hadn't been the number one recruit in the nation that came there and that was a star and that did it. So it's like he basically took for what everybody else did, he had to take that. So it's a serious topic. I appreciate all the other topics, but this is serious because there's guys out there that are getting injured every year. There's guys that's out there trying to make a living off of something, and because of one way or another, we should be able to help them provide and, like Fabe said, set up something. So I appreciate y'all.
Last thing, Sean says, would LeBron have 3 rings if Ray and Kyrie never made those shots? Save that man's life on television. Listen, listen.
Nah,
Don't disrespect the king around here. Listen,
tell
when you
tell him,
come in this
Rashawn.
podcast, you don't disrespect the king. All right, I'm just messing with you, man. But yes, he still would have won them rings. Okay, that's an easy question. Yes, that's come on, man. He still would have won them rings.
the Ray Allen one is hard for me because that was so clutch. But I can go back and say, would Shaq and Kobe win without Big Shot Ori, without Derek Fisher
For real.
making those
Oh,
big shots? Would Jordan win without Paxson going crazy? Would Jordan win without Kerr going crazy? So I think you're absolutely right. I think maybe he doesn't win all those titles, um, but maybe he doesn't leave Miami either. Maybe he has unfinished business. Instead of going back home, maybe he stays. So, man, that's a great
here's
question.
a
That's
question
a great
for you,
question.
Sean. You say MJ to go. Is MJ gonna win without pushing off? That's all.
Yo.
That's
First
all
off,
I'm
he didn't
wondering.
push off.
That's all I'm
Stop.
wondering. Is he gonna win without pushing off? That's all. That's all I want to know.
He did not push off. His momentum was going this way. So when he stopped, he kept going, and
He
George just
spanked that
pulled
boy in the
back.
butt.
Nah,
He
he did. Stop
he
it.
spanked that boy in the butt.
Stop it. Did,
Anyways,
does LeBron really get fouled when he's going through the hole and people move out of the way and they still blow the whistle? Come on now. Come on now.
get that out of here, man. Get that out of here.
Nah, come on now. Be
All right,
fair.
look everybody from Jarrell, Dante, myself, Faye. We thank all of you for coming out for this week's show. We appreciate your time. We appreciate you bearing with us in the beginning when we had a couple technical difficulties. Stay tuned for further updates. We will see you guys next week. Peace.
Appreciate y'all.